talked about yesterday is exactly what is starting to transpire right now. Everybody who missed out on XRP, they would be laser focused into I need to buy, I need to do this, I need to do that. And this is exactly what I was afraid of and why I foreshadowed the XDC move. I foreshadowed being able to buy Theta or File or VeChain or Zill, Alchemy Pay, Dent, Data. Even though they're not moving hard, some of those, they're the ones that were on the opposite and took a little bit longer. Now, we need to see what's going on here this morning because this is a rather large drop that started happening. They're probably back testing for a continuation move because when you look at it across the board, Ethereum is up 3.25%. So I don't care if it drops here. I couldn't give a rat's ass what Bitcoin does. I don't even pay attention really to Bitcoin. For XRP, yeah, but like for the altcoins that didn't move, you know, we're right where we have to be looking. I know my personal portfolio has taken a nice little bump up, not a bump, a nice little ride up here. Yesterday on BITUNIX, it was around 33,000. And I know I got a nice little bump from XDC and a lot of other things that I was trading. And I haven't exactly looked yet. I know our group trades got a little bump. We'll take a look at that together. But first, I want to start out with saying Bearded Viking 87. If you're watching right now, you made me the happiest person when I read this. And my son, who has had a series of medical issues, we almost lost a few times, as some of you know. And he's only 6. So we're blessed to have him and things are going good. But Bearded Viking 87 said that his son just beat T-cell lymphoma. So we thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that your son beat this. And I'm so happy to read that because I know you were going through a lot. And man, oh man, did you, like, literally, it made me almost want to cry because I know, you know, going through it with our son, some stuff, not cancer, but we had a scare of cancer, and then we just had a lot of stuff. So I'm just so grateful to read that and hear that news. So now continuing, we'll take a look at XRP. We'll take a look at the rest of the market. If you're interested to see where we're sitting right now, oh yeah, see, it took a little bit of a bump up yesterday, which is nice to see. I don't like to look at my account all that often. I just kind of look at our group trades every now and then just to see where we're sitting. Let's see. And our group trading, and I just started about 8 days ago, but we're up $3,900 right now. Our followers P&L is $14,739. I've got $121,000 of user money. I'm not a financial advisor nor asset manager, but I treat it like I am because I'm very diligent. Right now, our positions are up 6.3% on Theta, 6.3% on File, and 4.3% on ACH. I don't think they've done what they need to do, but I also think we got into it on a good positions so that when they do back test and do what they need to do, we're in a comfortable spots. I'm very blessed to see that we are in that position with P&L and the followers. I've only done so many trades. It was more testing than anything to see how it worked on both ends, and then just the sporadicness. I don't usually get in and out of trades, so that's why you've seen we've been in these ones for a few days now. I'd rather just let them sit and accumulate to where they need to go, or when the market starts to break down, and then just to show proof, because everybody I keep talking about that I have XDC and what I have with Data and what I have with Dent. I just want to show proof that I didn't just buy it. I've had it since I told you guys. XDC is up 10.5%. Average cost is 785, which seems high. Oh no, that's right. Because the first one I bought with you guys was at 79 something, low 79, and then I bought the other one around 768 or 77, but it was a smaller purchase. So that's right. So that's made $1,700 so far since yesterday. So that makes me feel good. Data is up 4.35% from where I bought it. And then Dent is up 2.12% or 1.8. It's very volatile. Who knows if it's going to go up, but I just wanted to show you that I actually do have those positions. And then there's, like, from moving stuff back and forth, I have a small amount of XRP. I don't even remember what was left. I moved a little bit of money, and I like to use XRP to move it around. If I can, if the other place, you can sell it cheap. But I think I still had, 80 XRP left. And that's for moving purposes if I need to move money. So I figured, what the hell? It was appreciating. Now it's probably going to start costing me money, but it's only $240. So it's kind of the way I flow, and that's kind of the things that are going on. If you're interested in the copy trading, make sure you go to the Telegram, learn all the stuff. Join Tom's Army, though, because I'm going to be kicking people out that are doing all of this that aren't part of Tom's Army for security protocol, as we've had a lot of people trying to imitate me and claim that they're me. So the only way to fix that is to have paid members in there through Tom's Army, and I think it's worth it. Anyhow, we just do a stellar job here. We've been in XRP since 34 cents. So we've 10x'd it. Like I said, you guys can do whatever you want. We hit our goal now of 10x'ing. I'm going to kind of ignore my XRP and act like it's not there. And I'm going to try to do the exact same thing I did with XRP with a couple others, particularly XDC. I bypassed XLM in this process, got rid of my DGB, and you see I've got a massive amount, 230,000, I think it's at, or something like that. And I'm looking to ride this. It's where XRP was in November of 24, or yeah, about November of 24 is where XDC was yesterday, and it's still in that positioning. We're just starting to break out. We have a golden cross in the daily. The 50 is now attempting to cross the 200. It's getting up there. The 100's already about to push through. We've got the 4 hourly where we have the golden cross, which it bounced off of now finally, and now we're trying to get past the previous exhaustion wick from a previous part of the candle a couple hours ago. I think it was 2 candles ago. Yeah. And that was overnight. We're looking fantastic. When you look at a pattern, you want to see exactly what we're seeing here at around. Like, I am so comfortable right now, I can't even explain it to everybody. I cannot even explain it to everybody. But, like I said, if you're in the Telegram, please join Tom's Army so that we can figure out who, even if they're trying to do it in code, you know, are the spammers. And we went through great lengths now. So if you go in there, there's a lot of different avenues. So don't just, you know, start doing whatever. It's more like an 88% move. Shane, if you're watching, my friend, I don't know what kind of math you're using, but if XDC's high was just under 20 cents and it's only at 8.6 cents, how is that an 88% move to all-time highs, my friend? Like 100% move from 8.6 is 17.2. You need to learn your math a little bit. No, I'm not yelling at you, Shane, but you need to lock in a little bit deeper. Especially when you're dealing with numbers, everybody. You've got to know the numbers. That's more like a 140% move. It's a big difference. I like to be well-informed when I'm doing something, and I expect you guys to be well-informed if you're following along. I don't want you to lose money. And I'm not focused on all-time highs, everybody. I'm focused on where this is going. Can I be very clear? I don't give a rat's ass about all-time highs. What I'm waiting for is this formation to break, for this cup and handle with the forward thinking fill, which I measured it from here because you have a cup and you can technically say a handle building. So I measured it from there. If you measure that move from the top, it's 32.5 cents. So all-time highs is going to be shattered in what I think. Not to mention, I think we're going way higher than 32 cents. Like, it's so this is like the most undervalued project for what it does. And you can't really emulate it. It's like XRP, but at the stages of 7 cents, has far less tokens. And the cool thing is, go to my website, XRP Future Million. You're like, Tom, what are some of the statistics? Oh my God, look how beautiful that breakout is. We're just trying, we should back test the breakout. That's what I was saying yesterday. You don't do all of this without back testing. So it could go as low as 250. I don't think so because there's a gap there, but I think more likely that $3 area could get back tested. Maybe it can hold how we did at 340, but it could back test where you see that wick up to use it as a springboard. So just consider that. Our target right now is $5.49 if it plays true, with the potential of $6.79. So, you know, if it plays out, of course. But, you know, you got to have a plan here. Like, my plan is I don't own XD, or I own XRP, but I don't in my own head. So I never look at it. It sits in the XRP Healthcare wallet with XRP Healthcare, and they're going to appreciate to where they're supposed to go. And it's still going to take time. XRP is getting way up there in comparison to where we're at, but nowhere near where I think it's going to go still. But look at XDC. So you start to look at all this stuff, And you can see in the seasonals, we're starting to have a nice crossover here. The technicals are a strong buy. You can go to the websites, and these are all of the things you need to know. This is another thing in the website, why I think it's important. Instead of doing all this bullshit and trying to find it yourself, I dropped, and this is a free website. I'm not asking for anything. It's got a dedicated server, live API, so it's up to the second. It automatically starts on XRP's market cap chart, and then you can go to whatever chart you want. But then if you want to find information, it's got xnfin.org for the white papers. It's got the Twitter community. You've got the Explorer on XDC Scan. You've got the website xnfin.org. It's like this on all of them. I made this an all-inclusive thing, so even if you're just starting out, you can do this. It's not rocket science, but it feels like it when you're first starting out. But the more you do it, like this is second nature to me. I see things most will never even understand when I'm looking at this. So I'm trying to make this all inclusive for everybody. You know, it cost me about $6,000 with the help making the website, 5 years of dedicated servers, the live APIs, the domain of xrpfuturemillionaire.com for 5 years at a time. You know, there's a lot of expenses, but it's worth every fucking penny. And all the people in Tom's Army, all of you have sent YouTube super chats. The extensive amount of money we've made since I started on YouTube. It all goes into it. So, as you can see with XDC, you know, the numbers are looking really good right now. So now if we go to, you know, you want to see some stuff, and you can start to look at it the way you want. Now, if you want to skip that and you're like, hey, I don't want to go through all of that bullshit, just go to the XDC total, or no, max. Whoops. Max token supply, not circulating supply, because that's going to say what's going right now. Just do the math. So, maximum market cap, assuming the maximum number of 38 billion. So, there's maximum number. So, it has a circulating supply. I know it's around, I thought it was around there, 38 billion. So there's 16.222 billion. Well, that's according to BitGap, but I don't know if that's the updated number. But there's a total of 38 billion, 37 billion. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's 37, somewhere around there. 37, 38. So I'll just say 38 because that's the higher. So the total circulating supply for XDC is going to be about 38% of what XRP has. So it takes a little bit less to move it as well. But like I said, we got this early morning consolidation. I don't really think there's anything wrong with it as of yet. You know, we always consolidate. I think this is the morning. Everybody's rushing in. You got an exclusive amount of people that are rushing into XRP right now, which I think is a poor play personally. It's up 10x. You never want to rush into something that hits 10x, and it's so parabolic at the moment. Ethereum, nice daily candle. Technically coming up to this high. The good news is we didn't come all the way up to the tip here at 37.26. So it should kind of be like when we came here, small consolidation bounced up. Should be a small consolidation bounce up. We need to come up here and at least finish this, the 4,000. I'm going to pinpoint this so you know. We should come all the way up. And the cool thing about this is we can't measure the depth of this entire cup until it's filled. Now, if we are proactive and we act like this is going to break out, and that once we get up here and we fulfill this entire cup right around 4,095, then we could technically measure the depth of that entire cup and get a technical target. It's going to put it somewhere around 7,000. I can already tell you. The technical target for Ethereum is going to be somewhere around 7,000 if this plays out. And if it's alt season, for the ones that haven't busted out, that just are starting to run on the golden cross of the 4-hourly after the back test, like ACH, File, Theta, VeChain, Zill, Alchemy Pay, Data, Dent, Casper, Axelar, DGB. For the ones like that, are you ready to say it's going to make this first move and that's just it? And then for the ones that started to push through the daily golden crosses, like XDC and IOTA and HBAR and there's an AMP is the other one with the 4-hour golden cross that it was back testing and it's pushing out. But there's so many of them in these other rotations too. XRP is so far past all of those that these other ones could emulate it, and XRP could consolidate for months. You don't know. Because I think we should back test the breakout point. We should back test, you know, the area we finally broke out for the first time. So there's a lot of things, but nonetheless, I'll go through the comments, but I want to share some information. So if this does fill out and we're forward projecting, and I'm not even going to the top, I'm going right here, not up here. But if I go all the way up here, it's different. Well, technically, it should probably be all the way up there because that's actually the proper measurement because that's going to be the depth. So then if you say it's breaking out, think about it. The maximum potential here for Ethereum on that would be 6,334. I've already, or a little bit more. I've got a target up there because of the pattern setup. If it comes all the way back up there, that's at 7,329. So this is well within range of that. Because the breakup target, yes, it broke down initially, but we talked about maybe it's a rising wedge, but maybe it's also a rising triangle, which is a bullish continuation, but it would have to get back into the pattern. And the reason why I say that is you can measure it kind of like this. And then you start to, I mean, it could be a channel, but I like how we had it measured. You know, looking at it like this because it predicted the breakdown. But now if you look at it from grand scale, you could say it's a rising triangle now that it's back in it. And that's what I'm trying to articulate here. And then when you break out, Ethereum can technically get the 6,389. But if you take this whole measurement because a rising triangle instead of a rising wedge is a bearish or a bullish continuation. Oh, that's too good. That's too good. The depth of the cup and the pattern consolidation measures out to that area. The 7,329 based on pattern consolidation, if it breaks out before April of 26. And then the first target would be 6,389. That's incredible. But you see how that measured? So you can see how I've already done this measurement before. That's how I got 7,329. So we look at it from all angles until we find the right angle. And that helped us with the drop down and to hit that target. And now we don't have to worry about this, it seems. Now, if we drop out of this, that's how you get to 496. But it doesn't seem like we're going to have to worry about that. It seems like we're going to have a pretty stellar move. If you want to support my program, consider joining Tom's Army. Especially if you've been involved in these moves. If you appreciate the fact I've come here every single day since March 24th of 2021. Did 4 lives, 6 total updates yesterday. This is my 3rd total update today. First live. And, you know, it's, I don't know, it's still kind of an incredible moment we're sitting in right now. Because even with, oh, look at that. See, the drop down is real on some of it. Not terrible, but like XRP, the drop down was real. But look at the differential. Don't be afraid. Turn your screen off. Who cares if you lost $2,400 today on 10,000, or what is it? $2,600 on 10,000 tokens. Guys, we're up $30,000. So that's why I keep saying if you sell, I have no objection to it. And what I would have encouraged yesterday was for you to sell. And I said it yesterday, if you were going to do it and you want to have balls, and this is your decision, when we hit that all-time low in this pattern versus XRP, this is a descending wedge. Those are bearish or bullish continuations. Also, we had an all-time low going back to 2021 versus XRP. The last time XDC was this low versus XRP, it broke out for more than a 640% rally versus the price of XRP. And guys, this time is going to be different. I'm telling you right now, XDC is going to go so parabolic, and we are at the floor. Well, not quite exactly the floor. We've come off of it a little bit, but guys, we are at the Colombo. We are at the cream of the cream of the fucking crop here. Remember when I used to say it at XRP, like, if you don't buy it now, you've got a chance here. You're going to be pissed. That's exactly where we're at with XDC. Just to get to the top of this target to break out, I'm going to do some math here against XRP. It's 272%. And I'm not, guys, I haven't charged a dime for a single bit of information I've ever put out on YouTube. I don't hide behind paywalls. My copy trade or group trade, well, you have to learn more. I don't want to talk about that, but that is exclusively to the members of Tom's Army and to the Telegram. I guess not exclusively because I haven't done it yet. But there's so much stuff out here. Like, you don't have to pay somebody to learn it all. Don't hide behind, if somebody's hiding behind paywalls, I said this from the beginning, they're obviously not good enough at what they do to make money. You know, if they got to cloud it up. If they know what they're talking about, we should be creating abundance for all. And that's what I am trying to do. Look at that versus XRP. Look at that versus XRP. That means versus XRP, if this plays out, just like before, there's a 767% move from where we're at now. I'm not talking about the price of XDC. I'm talking about versus XRP. Either XRP is going to have a historic collapse or XDC is going to have a unbelievable movement while XRP goes kind of the other way or stays the same. And we're on the verge of a 300% pump here at some point for XDC. And that's not even going to be the complete target. That's just going to be the first move, like XRP, how it broke out. And it broke up now. This is, I'm looking at XRP. I'm speechless because I'm looking at XRP like I've been saying about XDC for a while. But it became more prudent yesterday when we started rounding and made that big W reversal and got the validation. So then I'm trying to push it. Like, guys, I sold my DGB and some of the other stuff that I was going to buy or hold. I got rid of for XDC because I've seen this before. I've watched XRP every day for 4.5 years with all of you. And this is the next one with XRP. XLM is going to do great. But to me, XDC is much better. I think it's a better token. I think it's better included. I think it's more adopted. I think there's more utility. And at the price, this, I'm telling you, I'm XRP Future Millionaire, but I may need to change it to the XRP Future Millionaire. You know, it's like we're foreshadowing XDC, and I'm telling you, like, I can only say it so many times. Remember with XRP, it didn't happen overnight. From 23, we had to wait 2 years. From 24, we rebought another amount because it dropped to 38 in another bag. We only had to wait 6 months. With XDC, I have a feeling that it's been a move that consolidated from here back in 2021 in November, and we're still in that same pattern consolidation. The only difference now is you haven't had to sit in this since 2021 when this started. Actually, 2020 when it started this uptrend. So you haven't had to sit in this for 5 years, 5.5 years. That's the only difference. But now, if you do this properly, if you missed XRP, don't become sad. Take your focus to something else that is in the same trajectory that XRP once was. And that doesn't mean XRP is not going to go parabolic. But like I said yesterday with XLM even, it's gone up so far, but it's got so far to go. Like, I don't have these targets at $1.17 for no reason. And then even farther, like with XLM, if it has a significant retracement with the money I've made now, I'm going to buy XLM. But my goal is to buy it with the group because this weekly is exorbitant. And this is in the same positioning as XDC technically. So since I can't buy XDC in the group, it would be great to buy XLM in the group. And look at that. We're in the same exact setup as XRP was years ago. Look at that. Like, this is like XRP in November, where XLM is. So yes, XLM is a phenomenal buy. And I'm doing everything in my power to try to figure out the right spot to buy 10,000 tokens for the group. If I'm being completely transparent. But I wasn't going to buy it when it looked like we were about to have a consolidation. Now I've got to figure out where the exact spot I think is going to be the right spot. Because I don't think it's going to be an awfully huge consolidation. But I need that validation. Because this, and then it came up there and got rejected, unfortunately. That's why I told everybody, yeah, if you're going to buy something, don't buy XLM. Buy XDC where it was at, because at least it didn't even start breaking out. You know? And XLM in the daily has this golden cross. So we know we still need to get that volatile movement out of here, but we didn't back test it. So that's the only thing. So I don't know how far down we come, but I do know an opportunity is going to present itself, and we're going to be on high alert, because this is my A1 focus right now. XDC, I'm not selling. So if you're in it and you're expecting me to sell because it had a 10% or 12, you're out of your fucking mind. I'm waiting for something that's going to be well more than a 10x here. But at least in terms of getting to where the technical targets align us to, that's like a 5x. But, you know, I'm letting it do what it needs to do, and not just XDC. If you're in the group trades and you're expecting me to sell Alchemy Pay, Filecoin, or Theta, you're out of your mind. Those are long bags for me. So you're just going to have to sit there. If you want to sell, you have every way you can sell. And I'll make sure to mention this every time without going deeper. You're allowed to sell it individually. So if you want to sell, you can sell. But these are my positions that I plan on holding. So, and we're doing well on them. So I would like to just let the market do what it needs to do. And then if it makes us sell out because everything, for whatever reason, breaks down and falls out, well, then we'll make a decision. But remember when I talked about, before we know it, File is going to be over 280, Theta is going to be over 90 cents, and then we're going to be sitting there saying, well, I wish we would have done that. Well, we don't have to say that, because we did do that. And like Casper, we talked about how it's only a matter of time, and now today it's up 3.5%. Axelar is only a matter of time, it's up 3.9% today. XRP Healthcare, it's really only a matter of time, and it's back testing the golden cross. Like, this thing's about to go so fucking parabolic, it's going to make your head literally jump off of your earlobes, the top of your head. And there's 222 people watching, so I know it's true. You know it's true. The angels know it's true. This is coming up here in a short matter, probably to 13 cents. Which means if you have 100,000 tokens like I do, it's 13 grand. And I added 40% more to my stack when it came under 5 cents. It's the first time I've added since I started with my average at 1.7 cents. So it's probably somewhere over 2 cents now. 2.4 probably. But this is going to go so high. And we were part of this run up. So I've been part of some great calls. We were part of this from 2 cents all the way up to 50. And now we're being patient here again, because I'm pretty sure it's going to break 50. And then if you measure this cup for forward, because it's building a gigantic cup when it finally comes back up and around. So for transparency, I would do it from here. I know you got top wicks, and they can fill later, but this is technically the cup that's being designed. So then you would say, okay, well, when we get on top of here, then is where we would measure it. So there's no doubt in my mind we're going to get over this. And then when that gets measured, you're going to create a cup all the way up there eventually. And once that happens, then sure, you know, you could do this on your own and be like, hey, what's the maximum that this could do? And obviously we're so far forward thinking that I don't want anybody to be like, oh, this is what's going to happen tomorrow. But think about it. If this plays out and it just gets to 85, 80, 70, 50, and we top it with XRP, and I'm telling you guys, we're on our way to millionaire status. And we've been doing this since 21, and now obviously we've acclaimed 6-figure status. But if we do this next step right, you are never, like, I haven't worked a regular job since before the blah blah blah, which is the COVID blah, you know, when they locked us down. So, you know, we can all be on the same trajectory of abundance and be able to do this without having to work. And here's the thing. I don't want to progress somebody else's business. I would like to do my own. So I started doing this for myself without YouTube. And then I seen all the people that trying to finesse everybody when I knew that I had a much better understanding of charts than the average person I'm watching on YouTube. And I'm like, I have a lot to offer. It's just, am I willing to do it? And I was willing to do it, and I wanted to do it. I didn't know it was going to turn into this so quickly. But, you know, 4.5 years and dedication and results. Some people are going to leave because they think I'm just talking, but I'm not. I'm actually setting a foundation for all of you. But look at this. That's the uptrend here for XRP Healthcare. Look how it tapped it. Like, you don't have to worry. Literally, on this back test, it tapped it. That's why I kept saying that's so important. We might not have been able to buy that wick, but it was so important. They legitimately came down to that. Remember when XRP did it the last time and tapped the uptrend at 38? And then what happened in November? 2-3 months later. Look at this. This is just begging everybody, pay attention. I know we have a death cross here in the daily, but pay attention to the actual fundamentals and the actual setup. And at some point here, this thing is going to... That's got something huge setting up. But hey, you know, that's way out there into the future, obviously. Way, way out there. Before we can even get up to talking about cup and handles completing at the higher levels, you break out of here, and guess what gets you up to that level, that breakout. See how it works in Unity? We can even go here to measure it up. Give us a little more time in case it takes until August. But once you start understanding technicals, they start lining up. Doesn't matter the asset. You can look at something for the very first time and be able to conquer it within minutes if you know what you're looking at. See how we updated that chart very quickly? So right now it's a point of patience. This is where you get all the volatility, and trading hurts. When you trade, it hurts right now because you don't know what's what. Look at XRP. It's so volatile. Everything's so volatile. But you got to roll with the punches. You can never have continuation without little consolidation moments. Like, we're thrilled. XDC's up 5% today. It's solidly reclaimed 8 cents. You know, I think we're in a short order going to go back up to that 15-cent area of this cycle high before the big drop that we had. XRP is back testing all-time highs. We said yesterday this is exactly what it would do. The only problem is everybody was going to start buying that didn't buy before, and they're going to buy here. We already have this measurement. I forward projected this years ago, so I don't even need to measure this. This has already been measured for my audience for like 3 years, this move, before it happened. I drew this out before it ever happened. And I did it via market cap too, so it was easier to see. But these are the targets. This is the top end, but 549 is official. This is what I drew out years ago. We watched that descending wedge play out for years. 549 is the target out of the breakout of a projected cup and handle that we projected years ago, and now we fulfilled. And now we have to play the target. You know, in the actual target, we can see it from here now. $6.38 out of the cup and handle. $5.49 out of that 7-year descending wedge approximately. Well, that was $4 out of the descending wedge. So $4 is our next big area to break. As you can see right here. That's the measurement out of the descending wedge. So $3.83 is that first big target, which would give you a clear, decisive break and push back over that cup and handle. Then you have a target of $6.38, but first you have to clear $5.49. That was the technical target out of that huge consolidation. If you measure it all the way from the back at $3.27 down to where the uptrend started. So a lot to see. Amazing that so many people are leaving when you get to the fundamentals and the facts, but those people are going to lose out. It's a sad day. But that's where we sit right now. So let's see. Two Ravens, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 year with the I Told You So Badge Plus, along with Mark Caston. And Mark, thanks for being the #2 top fan of this right now. Appreciate that. Man and his dog, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor and also being the #3 top fan. Tango and Defined Group, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. And Defined Group, thanks for being a very, very trusted mod. Dan Marginal, thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens and the #1 top fan. Excellent. Ben B, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Kate Lee, welcome in. Welcome from the UK, mate. Ben Graham, Poop Soup, welcome in. Let's see. Kyle Kupiak, Cape Cod Kyle from Massachusetts, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Badge. TFLX, welcome. I've reclaimed 54% of my initial investment. Excellent. Perfectly timed. Perfectly timed if you're trying to pay yourself back so you can ride even farther. In my opinion. Proof Sweep, your average is like 240 buy-in. So that's fine. You're up $1. Hey, not everybody's going to be in at 40 cents, 30 cents with us. It's just all about timing. A lot of people are buying now and they're getting cooked right now because they bought in at 360 plus thinking it's never going to stop. You should have seen all the people I seen pushing XRP yesterday like it was going to $5 before they went to bed. Like, guys, get the fucking emotion out of your head and get the fun and stop thinking easy money. That's why leverage trading is a scam. And yeah, you can make money off of it, but 99% of people can't even read a chart. Between 78 and 90% of leverage traders lose. True statistic. I'd say it's probably over 90, but it's 78 to 80% if you're being lenient, or to 90% if you're being lenient. 95% of all swing traders leverage and or spot lose because of emotion. Look, they would sell XDC today because it was up 7. Think they're doing good because it's down 4 point. It got down to like 4%. So now it's down 3%. They have no intention of buying it back. And then when it goes up 9%, now they're going to buy it for 2% more, losing out on that profit, and they're going to continuously repeat that cycle. It's got to let it play out. If you have a pattern set up, who cares what it does? You're in spot. If it goes lower than you expected, but you still think it's in the same setup, buy more. Simple. Very simple. My buddy says XRP will hit $10 and deep back down. It very well could. It's part of my long-term projection, but it's not just going to go there. It's not even a target right now, $10. So unless he's a psychic and he can see the future setup, anybody could say it's going to go to $10 and go back down, but based on what? How do you know it's going to go up there and then it's going to suddenly... We don't know the setup going up there. So it very well could when it gets to that point, but we have no idea where and if and when. So we'll talk about that scenario when it starts to unfold. Crazy Paul, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP predictor. But I don't disagree. If we get up to $10, we could have a significant pullback. We just got to see the structure play out. And Bearded Viking, I'm so happy to hear about your son. And we'll keep him in our prayers. So happy to read that this morning. Rich Martinez, welcome in. Good morning. UK Phil, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Crypto Cooter, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. George Athanazev and Amanda, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Algo is going to have substantial movement. So is IOTA. And IOTA is one that I'm actually waiting to see this retracement, but look how far this has to move. So yeah, Algo, if you think it's expensive, it's not. IOTA, if you think it's expensive, it's not. Like, we're all going to reap the day that we don't at least have 10,000 tokens of these. And yeah, I'm going to buy these probably here if they do continue to consolidate, or if I feel like, especially IOTA, the $2,300 is something that just to have. And I tried to ask the audience yesterday if they wanted me to buy 10,000 IOTA when I do it, because I sold it to reinvest with the group when I felt like it was the proper buy-in. And the vote did not pass. It got like 60%. I need 80%, not 60. I need overwhelming majority. So that's something that I'm trying to place myself in. You can see that this is about to go parabolic, just like XDC. And if I had to choose between the two, IOTA and Algo, I love them both, but I would choose IOTA because I am partial to the IoT over the ISO because of the smart things that are going into our world. So, and IOTA is a mainframe token of the Internet of Things. So, but I love Algo as well. So like, you're talking about $5,300 here that if you have to spare, you should be buying 10,000 tokens and just bearing them on the way down. I should have Algo too. I wrote it up every step of the way, but I keep swinging. That's what I'm saying. That's why I stopped that mindset. And now I'm going to buy it and I'm going to lock in and I'm going to load until it's ready. And I don't care how long it takes because I know these levels are so fucking cheap. We rode Algo from 8 cents or 9 cents to 30, 40, 50, whatever it was at the top of this cycle. Rode it back down, swung it in and out. IOTA, we did the same. But now it's about to lock in, just like we did with XDC. Enough of the swing trading. I don't really care what it does now. We locked in at 7, 8 something, it said my average was. And now it's just you ride from there. Enough of the swinging. And I've been swinging since 3.8 cents on XDC. Had a nice move from 3.8 all the way up to almost 15. Cut bait. Let it come back down. Been swinging around. But I'm tired of that. I don't want to keep doing that. I hate swing trading. Now it's that point where it's going to get volatile and you kind of got to just go with your conviction. And now it's the long process here like we had with XRP. XRP's already given us the roadmap. Bitcoin's given us the roadmap. Now it's about patience. It's about trying to find the exact opportunity. And I'm all for this retracement, you know, for some of this. So that's where I sit right now. And yeah, I understand we're retracing, but I think that this is just that, a retracement. And we've got much higher targets here that we're going to go to. So kind of don't pay attention to what your portfolio says and try to find opportunity. You know, if you have spare capital, take advantage of it when you can. And I'm not talking about take out a leverage trade. Although, you know, I mean, one could argue if you've only got $600, you could take a, no, we're not going to go down that road. Nope, because then it becomes a slippery slope. And then it turns from a $300 trade, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to get greedy and spend $1,000, and then it just goes out of control. So no, do it from a spot perspective. If you have the capital, you have the capital. You can let it ride, and you don't have to worry about anything. So let's continue on. Well, but yeah. Bearded says, I'm here, and we almost lost our son twice. Leukemia is terrible, terrible. Please, God, the power of prayer is so real. And it sure is. And we pray for you, my friend. In the name of our Lord and Savior. Like, that's a scary thing. I'm so glad, though, that he's progressed past it, at least for the moment. And hopefully that's a lifelong thing now, that he can stay out of that cycle of hell, let's just say, for all of you. It's just as hard on the parents, too, because you're literally, I don't know, it's just... me and Julie have been through some stuff, and it's I can't relate in the same sense, but I can relate in a sense. Tango, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Media and being the #1 top fan. Papa Wheelie, DJRC, and Jorge, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. And as you can see, there's well more than 2 people speaking in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, of God. And by us speaking in the name of our Lord, God becomes present in all of our actions and doings here this morning. And Jesus Christ leads the way. Yeshua, Yahweh, if you want to put it in layman's. I say Jesus Christ because that's more relatable than most in the USA and around the world. But Yeshua and Yahweh would be the more appropriate way of speaking of our Lord. But Jorge also, thanks for being a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram. Says, hello, people. Hello, Tom. Smash that like button on the way in and show Tom the support he deserves. I appreciate that. Jay Mathers, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Happy Friday to you from West Texas. Nice. Well, happy Friday in West Texas from me, Shuggan. Afren, thanks for tuning in. DJRC, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months, along with Philip with the XRP Predictor. I will look at Gala because that is one that I know is still cheap enough that in theory we could roll this baby in for 10,000 tokens for less than, I believe, $2,000 still. And this was supposed to be part of my long-term play, as a lot of you know, and it's just I've lost sights on it a little bit. I'm a little disappointed that I lost sights, but it's still just at the breakout point. I was looking at it yesterday. I re-updated the TA. Well, I didn't have to because I had this drawn out from before. But if you want to know another potential move, if you've missed some and you're ready to sit, this is another one that has fantastic opportunity. And I dare say, even if you don't want to buy some of the other ones I've mentioned, like Algo or IOTA, if you look at timing and where this is actually at, this is one that still hasn't made the initial move. This is another one that's on the same clock is the Alchemy Pay and File and Theta and all that, even though they've moved out a little bit. Not Alchemy Pay. But this is all on waiting for that initial golden cross, and the technical target out of this long-term consolidation, believe it or not. And you're going to start to see, yeah, this is, son of a bitch. I'm so glad you brought this up. I've got a lot of thinking to do. Got a lot of thinking to do. And these are just getting started. And once that cup fills, then you're going to have a double target from there, and it's going to be extraordinary. It's all about your perspective of the moon, Draco. XRP's already gotten there. Now the rest are starting to... Alt season seems like it's officially kicking off. So all of these are going to do what XRP does. And don't be surprised if XRP sits stagnant. And it's happened a lot. XRP will kick off alt season, and then it'll consolidate the rest of alt season, sideways and down, maybe a little bit higher, while the rest of them are just cooking. Jessica Garcia, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 4 years with the XRP Diamond, the XRP Phoenix badge. And there's been an addition to the Phoenix badge, as I promised, and a change to my other badge. So the normal badge looks like this now. This is the Phoenix badge, and I'll update it in yours today. But it'll look like this going forward. This is the XRP Phoenix badge. Now I added XDC into the actual picture. And then for the lives, this is what it looks like now, what you've seen when it started. So I made an update yesterday, and it shows the R3 quarter and all the stuff with XDC if you look close enough. And I absolutely love it, how I switched it. I love it. But yeah, all of these guys are to pay attention to. And like, it gets a little expensive and you only have so much portfolio. But some of them are cheaper than others if you're doing the 10,000 token philosophy. You know. But there's so many in that routine. But I'll keep that on there just so we can at least keep an eye on. Right now, Theta's at least holding 90 and File at 280. We're going to see because we have this nice consolidation. But you need consolidation to continue the move. So, not too worried about it right now. Especially for the ones that we're in. But these consolidations are real when they happen. So, we just have to stick to what we see long term. And Jessica said, I took a tiny bit of profits from XRP and put into XDC. I bet you're happy about that at the moment. So, but you know, we'll see what happens over time. XLM is forming a cup and handle. I know there's an M topping reversal that's showing up, but this is going to end up playing off as a cup and handle. And it could even come down farther. Like, this is why it's consolidating. See how this is formed? This technically could come down to here and form this handle, maybe even farther. That's why I said 35, I think I said before. Maybe it comes down to, if it really wants to test back here. Or 44. If it wants to come lower, it could theoretically bounce back to 30. So we'll see. But that's why you've seen I've been focused on the ones that were behind. Because when the other ones that are ahead fall back, the ones that are behind is going to gain the liquidity. I talked yesterday about some of our altcoins that we hold outside of XRP. We're going to gain some steam if XRP consolidated. And now XRP is consolidating to the tune of, on 10,000 tokens, we're down almost $6,000. Or no. I take that back. It's only 5 cents right now. So we're only down $560 right now. I'm sorry. But from the top, we're down about $2,000 from the top. What's the Telegram? I'll share it in here one time. You can find it on my homepage of YouTube. And go, I'm telling you guys, if you're in the Telegram, you really should be joining Tom's Army. I'm actually going to not share it right now because we've had a lot of spammers, and I'm not saying it's you, but the moment I share it in this live, all the spammers are going to come back in. So if you join Tom's Army, there'll be a special link in the Tom's Army section in the membership area that you can just see in the membership part of YouTube, and it'll show the link. And that's how I'm going to do it from now on. Because there's too many people now, and we've had to kick out so many people. There's 416 members, and not even half of the members are in Tom's Army. So, and we've had to create a security center, a help desk. We've got a for spammers. We've had about 15 or 20 people imitate my name. So We got to try to be proactive to keep people safe. Some people have lost holdings out of the spammers. So join Tom's Army, and you can find it in here. I'll do it in the membership area for everybody who's members of Tom's Army. We talked about this in the group. So if you're in the group and you're watching, join Tom's Army. If you appreciate what I do, it's a small ask. And sometimes you got to put a paywall in front of security when you do stuff like we're doing. And the phishing is so fucking ridiculous that I'm doing what I have to do to keep the community safe. So it's in the membership side. But I can go and I can create a post and let's see. I'm going to do a post. I'm going to share the link. But what I do is it'll be for channel members, Tom's Army or higher. And when I share this, and this was at the recommendation of some of the mods as well, and a lot of people in the group, because they were sick of being scammed, trying to be scammed. So there, now it's on the homepage. It's on my YouTube. It'll alert everybody in Tom's Army, and the Telegram will be up there. I've been in Tom's Army since the beginning, so I support myself. I've been in Tom's Army for 49 months. I paid $9.99. So YouTube doesn't give you it for free. So if you're interested, please join Tom's Army, and the link will be there. And I'm not trying to extort you out of your money, but I'm doing it for the interest of our own safety at this point. So XDC is up 5.3%. XRP's dropping like a rock, down 30 cents almost on the day. But this is expected. We expected this. We expected XLM to drop. That's why I targeted XDC. It was behind. So let me continue going through. Mark Casson, thanks for the $2 donation to being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Tom, do you mess around with DeFi like staking and liquidity? No. I know how to dabble into it, but I'm trying to remain focused on a few of these assets that I've been watching for many years that are now starting to get to that very, 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 very important spot. Very important. Let's see. Their defined group, I did what we talked about, and I'm starting to lay that as a foundation here during the lives. Because what I'm doing by sharing it during all the lives is I'm getting a bunch of scammers in there, unfortunately. And we've had to do a lot of work, and I've had to advance 3 admins, which is the best decision I ever made between Jorge, Nick, and Defined. There are bonds on here as well. So it's just been a great thing. It's been a great coming together. But XRP's not done, guys. We're just retesting the back test. We're back testing right now. Remember the breakout of, for the first time ever, out of this demand zone? It's not going to be easy, but you have to back test. Right now we're back testing. And if we hold this back test, we're going over first $4, but the target's $5.49. But I've been very transparent. I think there's a lot that's going to outperform XRP in the next stage, only because of how much it's already gone. A lot of them haven't done what XRP's done, and they're not even close. It front ran this bull market. I don't know why. I hope it's because it's in a super cycle, not because they are intending on dumping a lot of the price value. Remember what happened to Ethereum, guys? After the ETF was announced, it dumped about 60% after it actually went live, after the initial run. That's what could happen with XRP too. As real money gets sold and you can't pay them off with USDT, that happens. Zachary, welcome into Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. If you're not yet, look in the membership section on YouTube and click on that Telegram link so that you can join the Telegram. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see. And the cool thing is, guys, I'm not saying you have to stay in Tom's Army indefinitely. 1 month to get the Telegram link so that I know you're not a spammer. Did I mention that or not? You only have to do it for 1 month to get the link, and then you're indefinitely in Tom's Army. I'll know that you paid to get in there the 1 month, and if you don't choose to support me, that's on you going forward. But literally, it's a 1 month commitment. You don't have to continue it. It's just to get the link so that, we don't have to worry about a spammer, period. And then if you don't want to continue, you don't have to continue. But I guarantee it's worth way more than $10 a month. Just in you'll have access to this too, and I'm not going to bring it up again. And you see with the consolidation how quickly the portfolio drops. Why I don't look at it. Yesterday it was at 33, got up to 38.8, and now it's down to 37.2. But if you look at it as, oh my God, it's an all for you know, it becomes a funny thing. But no, I don't even want to look at this. That you can find out all of that in the Telegram. I don't even want to talk about all of that. That's a private thing we do. So if you want to be part of it, you can become private with us. I don't think I'm okay. Muzik, welcome into Tom's Army for your second month now with the Dusty Dottos Crypto News. Great to be on this journey with believers in Christ. Amen to that. Amen to that. So, the FVG on XRP that it never hit is at 250. Well, it depends if you restarted the Elliott wave. I happen to have a different philosophy with the Elliott waves. It's either one of two things. We're either in a wave 3 right now that's unfinished, or we're in a wave 3, but, and I have it as an ABC, DE, so that you can tell the difference. This is an all-time wick-off accumulation in a different fashion. And that's how you can get up to different layers. So, they all require a lengthy retracement up at either, the one is right around 437, the other one's right around 475 for a retracement back to here, which would make sense to give us the steam to go all the way up. So it's going to take time, but D. Rojas says, feels good reporting the dumb scammers asking about, exactly. It's ridiculous. You know, it pisses me off because on Facebook, I have Thomas Spica Jr., which is my real portfolio. And then my side channel on Facebook is XRP Future Millionaire, and I share the content from here. And it's gotten over 5,000 followers now since I started doing it, surprisingly, on there. And XRP Future Millionaire impersonator messages Thomas Spica Jr. thinking that I'm just some schlub. And he's trying to scam the actual XRP Future Millionaire. Imagine the surprise on his face when he realized he was actually talking to the guy he's trying to scam. Or who he's trying to imitate. That's how bad it is. Oh, no, D. Rojas. I know who you are. If you can't afford it, you're fine. You've been a supporter for a long time in my community. You know, and some of the people I know who you are, but the ones who are trying to get in, you joined Tom's Army for 1 month. And I know you're legitimate when I see your name in there because you're a paid supporter. Nobody's going to pay to get a link if they're trying to scam. It's just that simple. So, and then it's just 1 month. I don't think it needs to be indefinite. I just think there needs to be some kind of security put in place for our members. ACH down 1.14% on the day. It's back testing this breakout. Like I said, these are longer term holds, so I don't care what it does today. It's back testing the 4-hour golden cross. It could even come back and back test farther. I don't know. But all I know is I'm waiting for these moves to play out, and nothing's going to make me sell. I don't care if they're group trades. By getting in the group trade, you want to be in my trade. So you're going to have to sit through the pain and the glory of all of them. And that's just how the way it goes. But we're hardcore consolidating today. We are hardcore consolidating, which is good. And then we'll see if we have strength enough to, but now you can decide. Remember what we said we're looking at for the forward thinking now? You guys remember the ones we're looking at now. I know you do. I gotta pause this for 1 sec because I gotta look at my security information. I got an alert. Hold on. Okay. No harm, no foul. It was just something that I got alerted to about a change. I wanted to just confirm that it was me. But I didn't want you guys to see it. Otherwise, you're going to know how to do some of my security stuff, and I can't have that. But yeah, I'm ending this, guys. It's been 58 minutes. We'll watch this consolidation. Nothing changes with our trades. All I'm looking to do is get into IOTA, get into Algo if it gives us a chance. And more particular, if I can't get into both of those, I'm still looking for a nice move with Gala. If that happens, but those are the two I'm laser focused on. With XLM, it's just, I don't know if I have that much capital to be shifting around because I would rather have XDC at this point anyhow. So I'm really firmly looking at IOTA, if I'm being honest. I'm looking at IOTA, and if Algo comes down even farther, I'm looking there. So, you know, this is where we're at right now. For anybody doubting joining, I can tell you in 2020, 2021 he meant, of that bull market, Tom called the top and I sold my bags once it dumped. I cashed app Tom 150 because he was the only one calling it when everyone else was saying higher. Yeah, and the better part of that is I told everybody to buy sub 40 cents and not even look until then. And we bought at 34 cents securely on average. And we have a whole slew of the community who not only dumped the top, but bought the bottom and rode it all the way up. So, you know, like I said, I wouldn't fault you if you sold. I had a doubling down bag. I had one at 34 cents, 5,000 more at 38 cents. That entire $5,000 bag at 38 cents is gone, 100%. And most of it was over $3. But I needed to make sure that I made like 30 grand on XRP with that 5,000 or with that bag. Let's just put it that way. It was probably on average about 30,000 over the 5. And then I used all of that to fix up my house and then a little more profit from some of my other stuff I sold. But this is volatile. This is where we have to be headstrong. Okay? This is where I earn my paycheck. And until it were to break down and collapse upside down, this is where you roll. Especially in the ones that are farther behind where we've been identifying levels. I don't think XRP's done. I think it just back tested the big cup and handle breakout. It's not all about how much money Tom makes you. It's all about how much he saves you by getting you out of the way. Let that sink in. That is so true. I saved myself in 2021. By selling XRP out when I did, I saved myself $16,000 on the drop. I sold DGB at 15 cents during that rally. You know, I sold VeChain well over 20 cents with ZIL. So I know where these were at, and I predicted all of these 99, 95% drops, and people thought I was nuts. It wasn't just that I called the top. I called the bottom where they were going to be at on most of these as well. Oh, yeah, I paid a shitload in taxes, guys. And then I paid a shitload in the stupid tax as well because I was on Uphold. And it cost me like $2 grand when I sold out that big sale. And then on top of that, I had a big tax bill. I don't have entries for XRP. I'm not selling it. My entry was 34 cents and I'm good. I don't need to do anything else. My entry I'm looking for is one into IOTA right now. Is into IOTA. Particularly. I don't care about getting into XLM. I put all of that capital into XDC. So I'm looking to see for IOTA. Because it's still back testing. But anyhow, I gotta go. My son wants to go outside, it seems like maybe. So I want to go play with water balloons. Native, welcome into Tom's Army. You guys are all so awesome. And don't forget to look in the membership section on YouTube for the link for the Telegram. It's only a 1 month that you have to do it for to get the link. It's right here. I don't know where the hell it's at. It's in the post. Members only post. I just posted it. I know that. Oh, that's just what you get. Duh. The post is right here. But I posted that for all the members. That's the Telegram. And then if you want to find a platform to trade on and not have to incur the stupid tax like I did on exchanges that charge you an arm and a leg, go to BITUNIX. Practically zero spot trading fees, and leverage trades are a little bit based on how much you're using, but they're minimal. And no KYC or VPN worldwide. So take advantage. I'm going to go.